The other day I was talking to a client and he had some interesting feedback for me. He said, Josh, your coaching is great. However, you don't help these guys with the most powerful thing they can do to win her back. Now he sounded a little grandiose, but it did catch my attention. He said, women need to know that the man could leave them at any point for another woman, that they're willing to walk away from the relationship. And if you told them that explicitly, they would even get the woman back every single time. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I had to sit with that one for a second, because from a logical and even psychological perspective, it's true. I do agree with him to an extent, but, big but, it is terrible advice as a broad sweeping statement. If I told all 800 members in my program to have an ultimatum conversation with their wife, take me or leave me, it would work for approximately 50% of the men. But in the other 50%, the wives would generally just leave the guy. In this video, I'm gonna explain to you why rejecting a woman is one of the most powerful things you can do to actually win her back, and what you need to do with timing and execution to be in that positive 50% that get her back consistently every single time. Being able to walk away at any moment, it is your greatest power. Not from a place of resentment or I'm better than her or rage, but simply from this belief. I am changing and I know I messed up, but I'm learning from it. I am doing my best to be happy, and I want that with you. However, if you can't decide to fully commit to me too, then I can't move forward with you. We are either both in this relationship fully committing or both out. Now I'm shocked to find that every single marriage I've saved, the wife was first rejected by the husband in some form or another before she came back. There's always this magical moment in the reconciliation process, a moment where the woman noticed the man's changes and attempted to come back into his life in some way. And every single occasion, I cannot make this up, I've seen it so many times, the man rejected his wife first, and then she came back, much like these two clients I've worked with.
Actually, exactly a week ago, Katie came to me and, well, first she asked me if I wanted to go on this trip with her for her sister-in-law's 50th birthday party to the islands. And I said no, and I don't think she was expecting that.
So she left the house. I didn't even open the box. I put it in a package, sealed it out, put the shipping label to her address, and I write a letter. I wrote a letter. I told her, okay, thank you for remembering my birthday. This is meaning a lot to me, but I'm not gonna accept this gift from you, so because I don't feel it. From now, I'm a different person. I'm not doing something that I don't really feel it.
By not giving into their wife's frame, they established respect, attraction, and validated their own high value. And subsequently, they got her back. So if it's so easy, why don't more men do it? 50% of the men I work with would lose their wife if they had this boundary conversation with her due to execution and timing. Let's talk about timing first. And we will do this with the metaphor of the ET scale. See, every client that wins their wife back, they rejected their wife or girlfriend when they were in the positive perspective with her. Let me show you what I mean. Let's imagine for a second, this is the scale. On one side is all the positive emotional experiences you have with her over the years. In the beginning of the relationship, there's a lot of this. First dates, sex, saying I love you, kids, marriage, a lot of positive things are occurring. But slowly over the years, what happens? Oh, you're distracted from work. She didn't trust you when you said you'd do that thing. You've gained weight. You stopped taking her on trips. You guys are just arguing about perpetual issues. You lost your job. You guys don't have sex the way you used to. You guys argue about the kids. You guys argue about finance. You guys argue about your relationships. And over time, what happens? This shifts and you go back into what I call negative sentiment override. This is when the ratio of negative interactions to positive have shifted. Now she sees you as a source of stress and negativity and the lack of positive emotions. That's how she feels toward you. So when you call her and she sees your name, it's the eye rolls, yes, what? Because you produce more negative experiences. So what these men do when I work with them is that they start to remove the negative experiences through the process of forgiveness I teach them and produce more positive emotional experiences through the apex traits and making them more confident and establishing more arousal and commitment and devotion and emotional connection and a lack of neediness until you're in the positive perspective once again. Now this is actually proven with Dr. Gottman in his Love Labs. It was a positive 4-to-1 ratio is what most couples had that were successful. Recently, I found out it's 5-to-1. That's because I think we're more entitled than ever, but that's beside the point. You need at least 5 positive interactions to every 1 negative. As soon as you go from this negative source of stress to a positive source of emotions for her, She'll start to make excuses to come see you and get closer to you. She will text you back faster, ask about you through her friends, follow you through social media more, or even make an excuse to talk to you. Like one of my favorite scenes, one of my favorite movies, Crazy Stupid Love.
Hello.
Hi, Cal.
Hi.
So I'm just calling, because I'm in the basement and I'm trying to get the water heater working because the pilot light's out and I don't know how to relight it. So I'm sorry to bother you.
No, it's fine. That's fine. Call me. I'm glad you called.
Look, at this point, you've initiated curiosity within her. She's getting close, she's peeking around, she's becoming part of your life. Now comes the most important part, the test. She needs to know that your changes are legitimate, that they aren't some fake manufactured front you're putting on for her. She is cunning, super intuitive, and this test is literally make or break for you. She's gonna give you some sort of breadcrumbs in hopes that you will give in. And if you settle for that, then she knows your change as a man has all been a fraud. However, if you reject her, she knows that you have truly entered into what I call the desire paradox. Women want to be with a man that wants you, that you desire her, but you don't need her. You're okay without her. Now, this idea is summed up in many forms, but especially the best way I found in the book, The Way of the Superior Man by David Data. He says, you are only punishing yourself when you want to be in a relationship with a woman more than she wants to be in a relationship with you. David Data talks about a man going off to war and how his woman would beg him to stay. But if that man all of a sudden changed his mind and said, you know what? Yeah, you're right, I'll stay with you, she would lose respect for him. It's the exact same psychological process as this test. If Sean, for example, who you saw, went on that trip with his wife while she was still talking to the other guy, or Muhammad accepted his wife's birthday gift despite still seeing the other guy, implicitly, both of those women would think, he's still putting on a front, he's putting me on this pedestal, and he still needs me. He's rejecting who he is to be with me. It is a risk to reject her, but women reward men who take risks. One final point is that you cannot manufacture this indifference. One client I'm currently working with, when we first started to work together, he told me that he told his wife he was planning on moving to another state, but it was all a game. Now, at first it seemed like a good idea because he thought, well, if I tell her this, she'll think, oh no, I'm never gonna see him again, and she'll come back. But she sniffed it out. She called out his bluff. And now he's fighting an uphill battle where she's lost trust in him. And everything he does, even if he believes that he's truly changed and he's showing her those changes, she's like, you're just doing it as manufactured fakeness, right? So you cannot fake this indifference or this internal value of setting this boundary because she is hyper intuitive, then she'll know it's a ploy. Now for my client, it left him completely stuck on what to do. And that's when he came to me and started working with me. And we got to the source of the issue of why he really could not reject his wife, why he couldn't let her go emotionally. We were able to reestablish his old self, his confidence, who he really was when he met her, that originally attracted her in the first place. You see, over the years, he became needy and codependent, and that neediness, going to the source of that and fixing that root issue, once you do that, when you finally have that ultimatum conversation, you become the 50% of guys that actually win her back. You must unshackle yourself from this core neediness if you're ever really gonna get her back, because if you don't do it in this relationship, it's just gonna continue in the next one and the next one. So addressing this core root lack of confidence is vital to your success. Now, I help men do this every single day. If you want me to set up a call with you and my team to see if we can help you, you click the link down below, set up that free call, but you must be fully committed to making this change, to finally fixing yourself, developing into the best version of who you are. That's you. Click the link down below. Thanks for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one. Love you. Cheers. Have a good one. Peace.